Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cult Classics Podcast. What you watching? The bonus content. Cameron Jones here, along with my co-host,
Mark Nussle.
Jordan Jones.
Jordan
Jones.
Okay, super. Love the dramatic pause.
It was because it was peaking. My volume was like at whatever a 90 is, and I could not have it.
I thought
there.
you were searching in the depths of your brain for some sort of witty name.
Nope, I'm over that.
You know.
In fact, I absolutely hate. All I want is just Jordan Jones. In fact, we shouldn't even introduce ourselves. They probably know who we are. Thank you if you're new, but figure it out.
So, I've been pretty busy this week. House flooded. It's been a goddamn nightmare. But the one thing I did watch is The Witcher. And I know I'm late on this, and people have been talking about it. And we're at season 3. The Witcher. This is the Henry Cavill. Essentially, you might be thinking, Jordan, because you have a grimace.
It's a remake, then, right?
What?
Is that a remake?
It's been out for a while on Netflix. I mean, there's a video game. It's probably based on a source
Isn't there a
material
movie
book.
called The Witcher, though, like from a while ago? Anyway, whatever. It's got Henry Cavill.
Yeah,
No,
it's
you're
a,
right.
it's a
Jordan,
pretty.
you're right.
You're right. It's a pretty popular series on Netflix. I am behind on it, and you might be asking, Cameron, you gave up on Game of Thrones. Why would you get into something that's the same? Because it's a little different.
So it's got a source material.
It doesn't have all this fantasy shit usually. You know, I don't know for sure, but I would assume yes.
Good luck making up your own original fantasies. Everybody's like, pass, but if you give us 3 books, we'll fill out the rest, right?
Here's
is
the one
the game
thing.
good? Have you played the game?
No.
I wonder if that's good.
What's that?
No, have you played the game? The Witcher?
Oh, I thought you were saying I thought you were onto something else. No, but Chris Reimer, bandmate, roommate, keeps saying that I would enjoy it thoroughly.
Seems like an Elder Scrolls.
He says it's Elder Ring, but with characters like hippogriffs and dragons and things. I'll say the thing that's drawn me in about the show is how often he says "fuck" or "fuck me." It's just always.
I got a question.
It's funny in period pieces for some reason.
My only thing is, since Henry Cavill is British and he generally has to use an American accent, does he get to use his British accent in this, or is he still doing an American?
Yeah, but it's intense fantasy world, so everyone's talking kind of grunty and under their breath the whole time. So it's British, but everything's kind of a grunt.
When did fuck come? Were we saying fuck in the medieval times? Like, oh, fuck me.
I know that
my tea is cold.
According to Back to the Future, Butthead was prevalent at least as early as
Butthead warm my tea.
You know, I think we did talk about this at one point when we watched the history of swear words on Netflix, and at one point we knew that answer, Mark, but
I'm sure fuck was around.
It's
or
gone.
some form of it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it meant something at some point. What have you guys been watching? That's been my pretty much only thing.
Do you
really.
want to know what I don't like about fantasy, the genre, when it comes to movies and television?
Sure.
And I'm going to throw in some horror, specifically M. Night Shyamalan in this. They don't use contractions ever. It pisses me off.
Okay.
Give me an example.
Horror? What about...
No. Specific, like some horror movies that are like specifically M. Night Shyamalan.
Okay, seems like this is a personal
They
attack.
won't say, I can't do that. They're like, I cannot do that. I'm like, yeah, you fucking you're taking me out of it. Maybe in the realm of fantasy it works.
I mean,
Just
any
pisses me
sci-fi
off.
movie with a robot, except for Arnold in T2. He'll be back.
Yeah,
Remember
he
that?
can't.
Go back and see that episode.
Eventually, he's going to.
Mark, what you been watching?
Okay, so you guys disagree?
No, I don't disagree. It's sort of an interesting.
It's always pissed me off.
But now that you've said that, and now I kind of agree with you.
Anyway, do you like it, Cameron? I'll never.
It doesn't bother me,
watch
I
it.
guess. Oh,
I'm
The
good.
Witcher? Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't.
I'm
Sorry.
halfway through season 2 of The Bear.
Ooh, I started season 2.
I'm a few episodes
It's
in.
interesting. I would love, maybe after it's all said and done, we're through season 2, just to kind of compare and contrast with season 1.
Yeah,
The one thing I did say,
it's very different, right? It's just very
slower
like-
pace for sure is my critique, if any.
What episode are you at? I just
think I
watched
gave up
the
on
Feast
3
of Seven
maybe.
Fishes last night.
I think I'm gonna. We watched episode 3. You know what I like though? They're only half hours, right?
Yeah,
it
those
feels
ones
like it'd be
are,
an hour show. I think it's only a half hour though.
So the Feast of Seven Fishes, which is like their Christmas episode.
Yeah, I
is
did not
an
go that
hour.
far.
Oh, okay, so
Well,
And
it's a
everybody's
special,
in
Mark.
it.
It's
Bob
a holiday
Odenkirk,
special.
Sarah
I'll tell you what
Paulson,
though.
John
I'm sure-
Mulaney. They bring everybody in.
I'm sure I said it the last time you brought this up, but I mean, it really does show Chicago. They went to a bunch of restaurants in one of the episodes at the beginning. I saw like I don't know what character's name, the sous chef, his partner. They went all around Chicago.
Yeah, like it's cool to see like Margie's and like Pequod's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was in, and it made me feel like, I guess homesick's not the right word, but nostalgia for Chicago.
You lived here a while. It was home. You could say homesick, maybe.
A little homesick.
I just like all the vernacular of the kitchen vernacular and just some of the tropes because I mean obviously.
Can I just for where I'm at? Can I say something about the show or we're not doing that now?
Well, if it's not a spoiler, yeah. I mean,
you don't like it. You don't like all the chefs and all the cousins.
Well, that is the only thing I still have to say is I'm so sick of them saying cousin.
Oh yeah, I don't get that. That is a little confusing. None of them are cousins, all right?
No, I think they are.
Well, the main one, yeah.
Yeah, but is he?
Who cares? It's still annoying.
Okay, anyway, I like the show. I like the actor in it, the main guy.
Is there follow-up? You done?
I don't know his name.
It seemed like there's...
Yeah,
you did not seem like the end of that.
Guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't get much sleep last night, and I'm like, not with it today, so maybe I'll just listen.
It's still better than Paul Walker in like the second... or maybe it's the second or third Fast and the Furious being like, yeah, what up, cuh?
Yeah, that's funny though. You know what I mean? You only get a few
It wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be.
But it ended up being. So that therefore it was passable, whereas this is just repetition after repetition. A cousin, because they're always yelling it.
There's like TikToks that are like just like making for like, is the popcorn in the microwave shit? It's just like it's like a husband and wife. Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Jordan, you might like this if you're just in the mood to listen. Muscles and Mayhem. It's a Netflix series on American Gladiator. As you can imagine, a lot of coke, a lot of steroids, more nudity than you think. Not on camera, but behind the scenes. A lot of gladiator boning. Yeah, American Gladiators. It's behind the scenes of how it got started, and it seems like it was a shit show. It seems like it was worse than professional wrestling.
WWF?
Yeah, with if you're hurt, you're dead.
Everybody knows what game you wanted to play.
The tennis ball one.
The tennis ball shoot.
It's number one.
Did you want to be the runner or do you want to be the shooter?
Both. I'd love to try both.
Both, yeah.
That's fair.
I'd love to be
There's
dodgy.
no wrong answer there.
I'd love to be dodgy. I'd love to shoot somebody, too.
I would like to try the hamster ball thing. I don't know how I'll do at it, but,
What's the Oh, that's
just,
tough.
I'm not going to like those collisions because they do seem to just be metal and painful.
Well, yeah, and then going up against like these ripped women called Storm and Gold and Diamond.
What would your gladiator name be, out of curiosity? I'd be Viper.
Siren.
Ambien? Something like that? I don't know.
You're going to put him to sleep?
I'm going to put you to sleep, just kind of sneaky there. Like, he doesn't look like a gladiator. It's like, well, I really specialize in a couple categories. The one thing about gladiators
next up, Xanibar.
The gladiators get tired. So you don't get the same effort from going first or second, but I guess you go first or second based on your point system.
You will find this on the show. It's totally unfair, but yeah, they would shoot like back to back, each contestant doing the same thing, and then they would have to do set piece changes that would take 30 minutes to an hour. So you would have one gladiator going like one event against 14 people in a row. So if you went last,
they'd shoot that,
it was in your...
but then they'd also shoot a syringe of steroids into Gold's ass before the next event.
That was the locker room, Jordan.
But what's good is I assume that the contestants, a good few of them, were also doing coke and
Season 1, I don't want to ruin the whole series, but it was a big problem where they were getting other people who essentially were gladiators against them, and then they changed it to your...
we needed an average Joe.
Then they changed it to average Joe teachers who were just kind of toned, yeah. And then they were like, let's make this doable. But it's interesting. Like any of the nostalgia documentaries, it's going to grab you. If you grew up watching it, you'll like it.
Well, this is a classic case of Paul Bart Blot.
Mall Cop, we get it.
We got Mall Cop and then Observe and Report. I think ESPN 30 for 30 came out first with this, and then Netflix came out.
Do they have an American Gladiator?
Yeah, I think it came out a month before this one. I haven't seen either of them, but I will. I'll check it out.
They always come out like this.
Why was the arena so dimly lit and sort of hazy?
I can answer that. First one took place in a horse competition corral on dirt and it had shit everywhere. They had no budget. Second one took place at Universal Studios and they tricked kids into coming in for a live studio audience, but it was them being stuck in a warehouse for 4 hours through set changes. And then
there's definitely worse times to be stuck.
And then the later years, the good years,
80s.
they had the sets, they had the costumes, they had it all.
I mean, they essentially recreated this show for kids. It's just global guts.
Yeah, true.
What was the did they have ever like a Mount Midoriyama?
What was that on?
Game.
That's
Gladiator didn't.
That's
but
Ninja Warrior, the original. Do you know what I really miss?
Have like a big what do they call? What do they call
Guts
it?
Did. It's called the Kraken or something like that, or Kraken or something.
It's the Crag.
It's close. It's not Kraken, but it's like the Kragon or whatever.
Do you know what I really missed that was kind of better than all this? And we ended up trying it with Wipeout.
Don't say it was. Oh wait, what?
Most Extreme Elimination Challenge.
Oh yeah, MXC. Hell yeah. Let's go.
Aggro Crag.
Was never gonna get there.
Stunning name.
It really is. No, but Most Extreme Elimination, we did try with Wipeout, but
it's not the same.
Yeah,
it's the production value. It's the cultural difference.
Some of the you can't exactly recreate it. And I will say, Wipeout did have some funny commentary. It's just
and some casualties. How many people died?
At least one that I know of.
People died in Wipeout.
Yeah, up to I think 2 at least. Head trauma.
How did they keep making stuff like post
by
like
signing waivers?
How many people died during MXE? If 2 people died in Wipeout,
we'll never know, Mark.
Way more. That place didn't even remotely look safe.
No. If you don't remember, Most Extreme Elimination Challenge was the predecessor to Wipeout. It was, I believe, a Japanese show where they just hurt the contestants. There really was you barely made it to the finish line, and if you did, they made fun of you horribly with graphics and voiceover.
But the great thing is we had like Mystery Theater 3000 type voiceover. I am curious what the real commentary would have been. I would like to see subtitles on that.
Is that a little bit like?
Oh yeah, it's 100% that. Yeah.
Okay.
It was not handled delicately with kid gloves. I don't believe. Now I haven't rewatched it since 2000.
Probably still plays the same.
Oh, speaking of,
I don't think they would be nice about it.
Speaking of not handling things delicately, last What You Watching, I talked about Breaking Amish, that show where Amish people are going back or trying to break out of the cult. First off, it turns out I'm like 10 years behind on this show. There's already massive updates on these people and what their lives have turned into. But I watched like the reunion show, and bandmate Chris, Highwire, check out Highwire.
They have an Amish tell-all.
Yeah, and it is one of the most bitchy host I've ever seen in my life, just being like, hey, they called you a piece of shit. What'd you think of that? Did it hurt your feelings? Like, it's the most in your face up front about being like, that must hurt. And she's like laughing while like they're getting made fun of and like patting their knees. It's like the most uncomfortable reunion I've ever seen.
You didn't have electricity.
There is not one show I watch where if there's a reunion at the end, I never want to watch the reunion. I'm like, I watched it. I'm good.
I didn't want to, but I got suckered in just being like, oh my God, this host is vicious. She's just being so mean to their faces.
I mean, was it good? Was it a good reunion being that mean? I'm sure it played fine for you.
Yeah, we found out a lot of truths that we didn't know about.
It's always like Ryan Seacrest being like, we've never seen this before on television. The Amish tell all.
Speaking of Seacrest, he's taking over for Pat Sajak when he retires. What's our thoughts on that?
It's fine. He's been professionally hosting forever. He'll be fine.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. It makes sense.
I don't love Pat Sajak overly. I don't think Pat Sajak is any less of a tool, if that means anything. I don't know.
No, I'd say they're equal.
Yeah, so it's fine.
Ryan Seacrest probably.
He's definitely
because he just is. But he's just got a bigger platform to be.
Pat Sajak's just been there long. It's a respect thing at this point. He's just old.
You know that mother effer makes like $15 to $20 million a year doing that show.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, it doesn't, but
I think they're trying to nepo baby his daughter as the new Vanna. Oh. And I know that because they did a celebrity version where she was Vanna, because Vanna was a contestant. Anyway,
sure,
I'm not for it.
Sure. What else have you guys been watching? That's been a lot on my list.
I think it's been out for a little bit. Not as long as some of the things we've discussed, but I watched Dave, Little Dicky Show, season 3.
Oh, you know what? I never got back to that. I watched season 1 and 2 and I liked it, and I know it's been out. I've been meaning to. Just I've heard good things.
Well, I ran out of stuff to watch. Megan was going just balls deep in Gossip Girl for whatever reason. Cool. The show was probably on like 10 years ago, so I'm like, I gotta watch something not this right now. But I will do some commentary on Gossip Girl because I have been watching that as well. I'm all in on season 3 of Little Dicky. I'm fine. I like Little Dicky. I'm a fan. Like, I don't know all of his songs, but anytime I watch him, like, yeah, he's really funny.
Sure, big fan.
He just popped up on I'm not even sure what radio show, but just like again, and it was in my mind. He's still just.
I wonder what his move will be after this. If he's gonna act as somebody not himself, if he's just gonna be a musician.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Is he going anyway? Mark, you got anything?
Could go anyway.
You got anything? Watching?
Gossip Girl.
Oh, okay,
I'll get started on this in case you didn't remember.
I'm sorry. I thought you meant Gilmore Girls. I thought you were talking about.
I could see we're confused. I have thoughts on that. I think per capita, the most extras you'll ever see in a scene. I've also seen a lot of Gilmore Girls.
This will not be the first time you hear this on our network.
It's the town of like Halls Follow or some like bullshit made up East Coast town. If those two, the mom and the daughter, or anybody is walking in through town, you'll see probably a town of about 10 to 15,000 people, at least 300 extras. At least 300 extras in every scene outside in the town. We've all been in a small town. There's not that many people out.
You know what I'm hearing? Hey, this is a production that's putting out jobs, Jordan. It's paying the people. Good for them.
I guess, yeah. Anyway,
craft services. There you go. Giving out meals.
That's pretty much all I've watched. Oh, I finally saw a black phone. We'll watch that too.
What'd you think? We did talk about it on a previous episode. Go back and find that.
Good movie. I was not confused by people's previews of it being like way more supernatural, but it's like just sad.
Yeah. Well,
it's just really sad.
You did at least have some expectation management of everybody telling you it's not what the trailers depict. So,
going in with that came out pretty early.
I hate watching trailers for like a film like that because they're always scarier than the film ends up being.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to show you too much. That's the problem with any horror movie today.
Any trailer nowadays.
Any trailer, though, if you can avoid them, it's tough.
We'll be flipping through like Netflix, like trying to find something to watch, and like I'm watching, like I'm like, turn it off. If we're gonna watch this, turn it off right now, and let's just watch it because I'm just gonna know what the movie is.
Megan and I started doing a thing. If we see something that interests us, we'll do this. It's like, hey, maybe we'll watch this. Let's check it out, but we want to kind of, like you're saying, leave something to imagination. The only thing we'll do. We'll just get a Rotten Tomato score because if it's like 20% or below, it's not worth watching. So I got to be like above 60. Oh, you go
that low?
No, we cut it off at like 60. If it's below 60, it's either going to be too serious, too boring, or too dumb for whatever the genre of movie is. So if it's above 60, and
I like that number.
People, yeah,
it's a passing grade.
That's a good. It's a fair. Are you doing that against critic scores that average out at all? I'm imagining.
Average out. I'll find this. If the critic score is really high and the user score is really low, it's probably going to be a very slow movie. Not to say it won't be good, but it may not be entertaining. But if the user score is really high and the critic score is a little low, it could still be entertaining, just not a good movie. So it's like,
if you're looking for,
I'll trust that one a little more.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If you're looking for a good Chinese restaurant, I learned on Yelp through TikTok that what you're looking for.
Is this what you eating? Because I'll get into that.
What you're looking for is 3.5 stars. That means the food's really good, but the service wasn't to Western customs, and they got a low rating, but the food's excellent. And that's what I learned from TikTok.
Is that just Chinese restaurants?
Through a man that owns a Chinese restaurant, and his key to finding other good, authentic Chinese restaurants. Look for a 3.5.
To go back to the bear, it seems impossible to open a restaurant. That's all I'm saying.
Doesn't seem great.
No spoilers.
Oh, speaking of movies coming out, this is something I just came up with, a new trailer that I want to see. The Creator, it has, I'm sorry I forget his name, but Denzel Washington's son. It's not giving anything away, but the whole plot is AI's taken over. There's a war with robots. He's on humanity's side, Denzel, and he's sent to go destroy a super weapon. That super weapon ends up being a robot child, and it seems like the movie is him fighting on behalf of the robot child from
AI?
Resistance.
Yeah. That would never happen. AI
taking over and sending a.
His name's John David Washington.
Thank you. He deserves respect. He did good in Tenet and whatever else I've seen him in.
So he's obviously probably a nepo baby too, right? But
to an extent. But again, if you have talent,
did you just find out what a nepo baby is? Is that why that's been said 3 times already?
No, but it's now a phrase. Yes. So I used it in context twice. Okay. What was the other one?
Who's to say? Go on with your point.
Vanna White.
Oh, yeah, that's actually the real nepo baby, because she may not be talented. I don't know. But to Cameron's point, it's fine if the kid is talented. But they still got the jobs because,
Will Smith's children. I feel like that's...
Yeah, that's the bad side. Although people really like that one Willow song, right?
Yeah, she's a fine artist. I'm just saying people acting.
Or are you talking about Whip My Hair Back and Forth?
No, you got it. You knew it.
It was That's why you said the one. That was a hit at the time, man. Don't say it wasn't.
It was a hit at the time. I was whipping.
But The Creator, it looks high budget. The visuals look crazy. It seems very action packed. It starts really.
Never heard of it.
It starts really dark with with what's his name, something Washington.
Well, do this. Decent budget. See it in the theater, Cameron. Don't just wait for
It does seem like
it
seems like a theater movie. It seems like a big blockbuster. It does seem like it does.
Speaking of theater movies, who's going to see Oppenheimer in
I will.
2 weeks or 10 weeks? I'm going to see it in the theater.
I will, but
there was something on Twitter that said the Oppenheimer that there's no CGI. They used all practical. There was someone who quoted as like, they set off a nuke. They're just setting off nukes now.
If there's a director to do it,
it's Christopher
Nolan. Probably him, right? You know what else doesn't use any CGI to the best of my ability? Maybe in some of the backgrounds. Fences with Denzel Washington. That's just in a backyard.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably correct.
Just straight up. If they use CGI, I don't know why they would.
Based on a stage play. Not a lot of set changes usually.
There might be a case during COVID.
It plays like a stage play. Jesus Christ, it does. What?
Oh, some of my TikTok algorithm now is like cold opens or like certain like scenes of movies. I'll get like the Dark Knight Rises, like the Bane.
That's a great opener
scene, but like with the transcript of the script. It's really cool. Like
to like see what actually ended, what the final product was versus the script.
Well, that and like the script will be like you'll see like Bane say this, and you'll see.
And then they'll show the action written out.
They'll show like the actual scene right there. This one popped up. Have you guys ever seen? It's a 2010 horror film called The Crazies with Tim Lee Oliphant.
Yeah,
hell yeah! It takes place in Iowa.
Yeah, Cedar Rapids, Iowa is central in that movie.
No shit.
I like it.
They did a cold open with like the guy coming out in the baseball field. I'm like, this kind of seems creepy. I kind of want to watch.
Do you want a spoiler that will entice you to watch it?
It's not exactly a spoiler if you're going to talk about the newscast.
The end credits has a little Bruce Downey in it because it takes place in Iowa.
Yeah, we have a
little. Takes place out of Cedar Rapids, I think.
It's essentially a zombie movie, but not zombies. One of those kind of things where people are going mad, angry, and attacking people, and it takes place in rural Iowa, where we grew up. Like within a 45-minute video. I will say
it is definitely not shot in rural Iowa, but it takes place there.
Expectation management. I remember at the time hating it, but I don't know. I was expecting more. I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting, but I'm sure if I watched it now, it'd be fine.
It's not my genre that I like know, have an extensive knowledge about, so I'm fine with it. It's like a genre. 71 I like Timothy Oliphant.
71 Rotten Tomatoes, 6.5 IMDb. So I mean that fits the criteria.
Yeah, that flies.
Not bad.
And I think that's accurate. That's going to give you what you want.
Yeah, I think it's right about a C. Yep. C plus C.
Cool.
Maybe a B minus for some people, if you ask me. I don't know.
That's how I got through high school.
It's fine. All right. That's how I got through everything. I'm a B minus dad. Nah, I don't know what. If I were to rank my dad's skills.
Save that for Herb and Herman.
Alone. Okay, yeah. Tune into Herb and Herman if you want to hear that come out.
Any other things on your guys' watch list this week? I was pretty light just as a.
I'll tell you what I still want to see, and I was almost going to see it in the theater, but it didn't time out like with the schedule. I still want to see the new Spider-Man Spider-Verse because the first one was so good.
Agreed.
I'm going to see it sometime.
I'm mad at myself for not going to the theater to see it, honestly.
It's still in the theaters, I think, and I want to see it, but
Jordan, I said what I said.
All right. Well, I was going to go like last Sunday, but like all the times were like either really early or really late, and I couldn't do those ones.
Oh, I did.
I needed like a 1 o'clock time, and I didn't have it.
I can't remember if I talked about this on the last episode, but I did watch Bert Kreischer's The Machine.
Oh, you saw it? Well, you said that you'd heard it was getting okay.
I was wrong. I do like.
It's bad.
I like Bert. I like Tom. I like Two Bears. I like YMH Studios. It didn't deliver quite as much as I was hoping. There were some generally funny moments. But the acting was bad from like the actors.
Is it just because like Bert's we've all heard that story and like that like it's kind of he's been running it in the ground a little bit?
No,
my guess is what happened with this story is this: people thought it was going to be dog shit because Bert Kreischer was in it, and you're like, he can't act, right? Then you heard, it's not that bad because I thought it was going to be dog shit, and then you saw it, and you're like, it's not that good.
Well, part of the problem I think I had with it is I'm used to the world. I know his wife, his kids, and stuff. So seeing like bad actors portray them. It was a little just bad acting.
This
bad
porridge
writing.
Is just right.
It was a little bad acting, bad writing, and I'm not even saying from Bert. I think he kind of did an okay job. It was just some of it fell flat for me. But
what's his name's in it too, right? Mark Hamill.
Yeah, he's Mark Hamill. He's fine.
Yeah. My guess is, and I'm guessing that if we just had our discussion about Rotten Tomatoes, I'll look it up to follow. Low critics, decent users, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bad movie, but people think it's entertaining. Is my guess. That's how it'll be. Any guesses? This is a little.
Do you have
I got it pulled up.
Ooh.
That's what I guess it would have been around this. Yeah, that's actually probably pretty accurate.
Say it out loud for the listeners.
Oh my God.
27 critics, 87 users.
That's quite the jump.
87's a little higher than I thought.
That is
but that's
high.
normally how movies
Loyal
like that.
loyal fans, and it's entertaining. It's just
27 is low.
Honestly, I think it's just because they were talking up so much on the podcast that it's like it's an actual movie. It's a big budget, and it is, but it felt still like something they made. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. But 87 makes it seem like it's at least entertaining, because when it's really bad, it's just critics and users are aligned. They're like, this is just a bad movie. Like,
those are just Bert Kreischer stands that are just like,
yeah,
upvoting. Like,
power to it.
I'll check it out.
I mean, it's over 500 reviews.
I hate saying it. I love Bert. I love their thing. You know, but I love.
Oh,
love it.
One last thing that's coming out. I probably won't see it in theaters, but it's like I should.
Mm-hmm.
I've been hearing that the new Mission Impossible is like, you want to talk about real stunts, Cameron. He's got like license to do all the stuff.
You got to see Tom Cruise movies, probably also in theaters. He's trying so goddamn hard, you know. He might be crazy. He might be in a religious cult.
Was it him and Matt Damon that came out with that little like statement that's like, you guys are you're gonna ruin our careers if you don't go to movies. Go to movies. Go to movies.
They also had something.
I hear that,
like,
but also fuck those two, right? Because their careers, they're fine.
I think they also had a thing that they were like, you're watching films on the wrong format on your TV. You have to switch to this format.
Yeah.
I saw a Matt Damon interview show up on like Instagram or something, just a portion of it. It might have been, I don't know what it was from. Anyway, somebody's like, why can't you make the movies you used to? It's like, it's essentially we lost the revenue stream from rentals and.
Oh yeah, I sent that to you.
DVDs.
It's a very interesting breakdown from Matt Damon.
It's like,
why
we can't make it because now you don't make money. You lose that whole revenue.
It's the same in the music industry. It's all streams. And that's way easier to. It's easier to make than, a film or a CD or a LP, whatever.
That's all I had for this week. Do you guys have anything else for what you're watching? I would recommend everyone checks out the Creator trailer. It seems real cool, and start the. Witcher
we got a new Superman coming, right? It's no longer that's a big deal on the internet.
Oh, I don't know, probably.
Yeah. Gossip Girl though.
Jesus.
These are teenagers, and they're in bars and this was like 10 years ago. They're just in bars drinking martinis, and it does take place in New York, but it pisses me off. I'm like, even if you're rich. And Manhattanites, it's like you're not drinking martinis on a Tuesday. You're
drinking a vodka Red Bull.
Exactly. That would have been like way more accurate. I just don't think they're drinking adult cocktails.
They're drinking a dry, dirty martini.
Yeah, not at all. That really pissed me off. If they do, they'd be like puking in the bathroom. That's all.
Write in and let us know what pisses you off about Gossip Girls. Jordan would love to know. Mark, any?
I liked the
Oh, okay. Can I? It's good music though. Got a lot of Kings of Leon from that time.
Okay,
just like the soundtrack actually is banging for me.
Good soundtrack.
Sex is on Fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that played like a lot. That's that's played like in every episode. It feels like.
It's the only Kings of Leon I know.
Oh, and the other one. Who knows? Well,
anyway, Mark, I interrupted you.
No, I just there's a new Tom Segura. I think I liked it more than a lot of people. Go check that out too. It's
oh
funny.
Yeah, Mark and I.
I started it. I didn't get.
I did talk about that. Mark and I were talking about that. I enjoyed it. I just don't know if I enjoyed it more or less than the last ones. At least on par. I don't know. I'm a hater this week.
I saw him in Cedar Rapids about, I guess, exactly a year ago, right when we moved here. And he opened up. He's like, I don't know where the fuck I am. It's like, I know I'm in Iowa, but if you gave me a map, I couldn't tell you where the fuck this is.
And Iowa people love that. We know.
Oh,
we're self-aware.
Yeah, we know. Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening.
I turned to Megan and I'm like, I used to live in somewhere he knew. It was a cool place. Now it's not.
Well, thanks for listening to the bonus content from Cold Classics Podcast. If you like what you heard, make sure you like and subscribe to the entire Majestic Jam Network. I'm Not Crazy, Urban Hermit, the Highwire Podcast. And until then, we'll check in the next one. Bye.
Bye.